Welcome to Conversations with Celena, the podcast where we discover inspiration, motivation, and information to help you live your best life. I'm your host, Celena, aka Sunshine, and each week we'll dive into conversations with guests who share their testimonies, insights, and advice. We'll explore topics that uplift, encourage, and empower you to be the best version of yourself you can be. So tune in and let's have some fun while we explore all that life has to offer. Keep it smiling, sunshine, and let's go. Hey, sunshine. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Celena. I'm so excited to have you back. This is like a double header today because I was live this morning at 11 and here I'm live again at 7. So if you missed the testimony this morning, please go back and listen because Catherine Brown was truly a blessing. But tonight we have another amazing guest who has a testimony to tell about ringing in 2025. So I want you to give a warm welcome to Mr. Shane Paul Smith. Woo, woo. Thank you for joining me.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. So we're just going to jump right on in tonight. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And I got to jump off the screen, but I'll be right back as you tell us a little bit.
Okay. Let's see, a little bit about me. I've been singing since I was 8. I started singing in front of the church when I was 8. Always been kind of an artist and like a creative person. I went through, I joined the military when I was 19 and ended up having a bad reaction to the vaccines. And about 8 years ago or so, I detoxed the heavy metals from the vaccines and no longer have bipolar symptoms. So that about 17 years of my life was spent trying to survive, and I guess it was a trial that I would say now has made me stronger because of it. But yeah, I'm glad that I was able to overcome that. Now I don't have bipolar symptoms anymore. But I'm still a little bit ADHD, as you can tell throughout the conversation. And I play music. I'm a singer-songwriter. I do tattoos and, draw, paint, that kind of thing.
You're just an all-around artist.
Yes, I am.
Do you do like portraits? Like if I sit here and pose, do you do those kind?
I mean, I probably can. I don't do that a lot, but I might be able to do something like that.
Like the cartoon, what do you call those that they're doing in the city?
Oh, yeah. Nah, I can't do that. Oh. I know what you're talking about. Those, cartoon portraits. I know they have a name, but I never really have done that. But I like doing like dot work. Like I have some, I was about to go grab it, but I have like some really cool pictures that basically it's all dots. And you like, if you want to make, if you want to do shading, you have to put the dots closer together. It's kind of like a newspaper, you know, if you like really look into a newspaper, it's just dots, right? So I like doing dot work. You got to be crazy to enjoy that, but I really do. I like things that are like challenging, and I like, I'm a kind of a perfectionist, which, kind of sucks sometimes, especially when people are paying you by the hour. You got to like, okay, quality, quantity, and you have to kind of like balance those two things out, But yeah, I think that I'm kind of, I don't know. Yeah, kind of a feather in the wind, like kind of go with the flow. I don't know. You could say I was crazy, but like, I don't know. one person's crazy is another person's normal. So who knows what that means? But
Who knows
yeah,
what it looks like?
I'm a
Yeah,
little out there. I'm a little out there. Just be honest with you. I really am.
that's okay. That's okay. But you're here, and you're here to tell the testimony of you might be a little out there, but you're here. So thank you for coming and sharing the event that happened New Year's Day, New Year's morning in New Orleans. I did see your live on your Facebook page to just get a little bit of a, listen to it again because you had shared it with me. So I just wanted to listen to it again as you told it on live.
All right. Oh boy. Okay.
Take a deep breath and you can take your time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because on my live, I think I still had like not adrenaline at that point. It wasn't adrenaline, but it was still kind of like it's kind of shock, or something. So I was kind of like laughing and stuff in the live, and I almost want to like go and put like a little asterisk and be like, I didn't think it was funny at all. But it's almost like whenever you get nervous,
you get
right?
nervous. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was still feeling like the effects of what had happened. And I had somebody jump in there and be like, "Oh, this is fake news. This guy's trying to get attention and all that."
I saw that.
And I blocked him quick, but he doesn't know me. He doesn't know. I was not trying to get attention. I was like, I don't know. I was feeling, first of all, nobody heard about it, right? And if you did look it up, it would say shooting or murder on Convention Center Boulevard, right? Because of course Caesars doesn't want anybody to feel unsafe in their parking garage, or Harrah's. When I say Caesars, Harrah's used to be Harrah's, now it's Caesars at the casino. And so yeah, we went there. I drove by myself, but I went there with some friends. And about 2 a.m, I go up. We go to the elevator, and I remember looking up and seeing. I remembered I was on 7, and I look up and I see 7, and so the elevator was where I needed to be. Well, that's relevant because come to find out, I guess I should tell the story. I ended up finding out what happened before through the guy who died, through his parents or his mom and his family. And come to find out, there was an argument that happened between, there was 4 people who were the targets, right? And then I think there was 3 or 4 people who were in the car with the shooter, right? Those 7 or 8 people were in the elevator together, and they had gotten into an altercation, like an argument, all verbal. And come to find out that that's what caused what's about to happen. It was just words, right? And so anyway, it's up on 7. It comes down to me. And what I realized is that when I looked up and saw 7, they were getting out, right? The people that were in the argument were getting out. And then it comes down and picks me up, brings me up, and me and my friends up. They get off on 6. I get off on 7. And when I get out, you can hear some like firecrackers in the distance and stuff. It was like 2 a.m. And I'm walking and the parking lot was empty except for the 4 people who were getting in a red car a little bit in the distance, because if you're familiar with the parking garage, it kind of goes up on a ramp like this and then curves around and then comes up on the next one. Well, I was parked probably 6 or 7 cars from the end where it curves up and goes to the next level. They were parked. We had 1 car between us, so they were closer to me when I was walking to my car. All of a sudden, like, I'm hearing them talking about some drama, and she's like, "Girl, he said this," and like just a bunch of like you could tell it was drama, but I didn't know what it was about. I wasn't really paying attention. But come to find out, I think that she was on the phone talking about what had happened in the elevator, and So I'm just kind of like do, and then all of a sudden, pow, 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 like all of it. I'm thinking, who is shooting firecrackers in this parking lot, our parking garage? So I immediately looked to my left where the sound sounded like it was coming from, but it was echoing everywhere, so loud. And I immediately looked to my left, and I see a guy, with his hand out of the car like this, holding a pistol, and I see the muzzle flash, and it's pointed in my direction. So I thought that they were shooting at me, um, because can I show you my suit?
Show me the orange suit.
It really is important. It's an important part of the story. So I'm wearing this, right? My cool like 70. Can you see it? It's really cool. I'm excited about it. So the funny part about the suit is that I had just gotten it a couple days earlier, and I posted it on Facebook, and I'm like, I'm not a person who really gets excited about clothes, but man, I love this suit. And so I posted that, and then the next day, after my mom ended up buying it for me, and for Christmas, and so the next day, I come home and I'm looking in my closet, and I got pants that perfectly matched the suit. So then I post, yeah, what are the chances of me having pants like that I've never worn that go with this suit jacket perfectly, right? And I said, I hope somebody doesn't have to die so I can wear this suit, which is really weird to me now looking back, right? Mm-hmm. Because what I meant was, a funeral, like,
right.
Because I was like, when else am I going to be able to wear this thing? And then like 3 days later, it's New Year's, I can wear it. And I didn't even think about that, right? So I wore it. Well, the reason why I'm saying that is because as soon as I look over and I see, the muzzle flash going off, right? I see it pointed at me, and I immediately, the first thought that I had was of my kids,
mm-hmm.
and run, right? But the problem is that the car that I'm, that they're actually shooting at is in front of me a little bit, like it's on my right, but it's like, it's maybe 4 or 5 feet ahead of me. So what I actually did was run through the bullets. And the reason why I did that instead of turning around and running off was because, first of all, if I run off, I'll just be hiding behind some cars or something. Like, I wanted to get to my car because I had protection in my car. I had my gun in my car, and I thought they were shooting at me, and I didn't know if they were going to stop. Right. So I'm like, I got to get to my car. So I start running. Bullets are whizzing by my head, hitting the metal, hitting glass. It was really, really loud. And the people who they were actually shooting at in the red car start getting in the car, except for one, as I'm running to my car. Luckily, I had my key in my hand. So I'm getting in the car, and I see the red car back up and start to go kind of around almost up to the next level, but they stop. And the reason why they stopped is because they had they'd left somebody behind, right? Not on purpose. It was just because I think that he wasn't by the door, close enough to get in, right? So because they were just kind of hanging out, talking, and kind of getting in the car at the time. So anyway, I get in my car, I grab my gun. I'm feeling like I'm in a first-person shooter game or something. It does not feel like real life. It feels like a dream or something. And so I get down, and I'm kind of like looking, to see if they're coming this way, if they left. I don't know what's going on. And then one of the guy that they had left behind, and I hate saying it like that because it wasn't their fault. They didn't just freak out and leave somebody behind. Like, he just dropped and couldn't get in the car is what I think happened, right? But he starts walking by, and he's freaked out. He's looking down like, oh my God, and he's about to start running to the car because I think they're waiting on him, up around the corner, right? And I was like, dude, you all right? And he's like, kind of like traumatized looking, like, yeah. So he starts running up to the car. I decide I'm going to jump in my car, and I start backing up, right? So, I got my gun in my hand, and I'm backing up just in case, I start backing up. And as I'm backing up, the guy that with the gun had gotten out the car, right, and was walking around, okay, to kind of by my car. Well, the reason, what I didn't mention earlier is that a little more than halfway up a ramp on any particular level, there's a spot that you can cut over and go on the other side and start going down, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the car was that was shooting. So they were shooting like kind of through the partition, the concrete. There was some concrete posts, and there was a gap between them. Probably 12 feet or something like that, and that's where they were shooting from. Well, he got out the car and came around, and he was looking to see. Basically, that car was still sitting there for that guy to come and run up and get in, right? And when I backed up, here he is. Like I almost hit him with the back of my car, like backing up. And so I go like this. I look to my left, and there he is. There's the gun. He's walking up, and I just keep backing up about 30, 40 feet. I just keep going, right? And I'm looking at, I'm watching him walk up the ramp, and he's just pow, 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 shooting at the red car.
He's just determined.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was like, I mean, I can't understand it, because it's like, wouldn't he have made his point by just like shooting, a few times at the car or
right.
something? I mean, like, what a point to be made. But I'm just saying, like, he didn't feel like that was enough.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So whatever happened, whatever argument it was, I can't find a reason why that would be necessary whatsoever. But I'm not in his head. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know what kind of childhood he had. I don't know what kind of, what I mean? Like, maybe he's just a psychopath. Who knows? But yeah, he was determined, and he just pow, pow, pow. And at that time, I've always wondered, because I carry a gun all the time. I think it's like one of the most important things people can do, if you're old enough, because, I think it's our responsibility, right, to take care of ourselves, not only physically and, and we with our health and stuff, but also to protect ourselves. I think that is the responsibility that we have as human beings, is to protect ourselves and to protect others, right? So that's why I always carry a gun. And I think that it's vital to freedom, right? I really do. Like, if you want to be free, you have to be able to take care of yourself and protect yourself, in many different ways.
Well,
so
it shouldn't be in everybody's hands. This is obvious. This is why this stuff keeps happening, because everybody shouldn't be handling firearms at all.
Oh, wait, huh?
I said not everyone should be handling firearms.
Well, maybe not everyone, but I think that like, if you're there's no other way to ensure that you can protect yourself, right? But I don't think everybody should have them, because if they're crazy, they shouldn't be carrying around guns. Right?
Apparently, this guy is a little crazy, because he was determined over an argument. But
right.
I'm sorry.
I'm saying,
go ahead, finish. You can finish. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm saying good. I'm saying good people. Like, if they had more good people who were armed and who could take care of themselves, then, I mean, especially in this world that we're in today, with all these, mass shootings and all this stuff, like, we can't wait, for some cops to get there in, 5 minutes or whatever it is. Right. So anyway, this is my personal conviction, and I'm not trying to put it on anyone else. But that's what I think, that there should be more good people, who can protect less fortunate people, or people who can't, protect themselves. That's my thing. But so that's why I do it. Right. So I was sitting there with the responsibility now of, what do I do? I'm watching him shoot at other people. Should I shoot him? Should I hit him with my car? Like, should I stop him? But by the time that I was able to think about it, and it entered my head, and then he's done shooting, and he starts running around to his car. So I luckily I didn't do anything, I guess. And
I know how you're telling it. It all happened so fast. Like, I'm sure it happened so fast. And then some of the scenes was probably so slow,
It's fast and slow.
Fast and slow.
That's the crazy thing about it. It was fast and slow. at the same time. There were parts of it that seemed like in slow motion, and there's parts of it that seemed like, it was just like, it was like hopping from one point to the other. It's crazy. Um, so anyway, I didn't do anything. I was kind of upset when I had talked to his family and stuff, and I said, I'm sorry I didn't do anything. I'm sorry I couldn't do anything to stop it. But there's nothing I could have done, because I think that I think that the man was shot the first round of shooting, and I didn't have anything. I couldn't stop him, right? So I think people are just now getting here or something. I see people in the chat chatting, but so anyway, he ran around. He ran around and got back in the car, and I'm sitting there for a minute. I think the red car just went up, a couple levels or something like that. And so then I finally decide, okay, well, I'm gonna follow. I have to follow basically the same direction that they were going. Cut over and start going down to the next level to get out. So I come around the corner and I see the car sitting there, and I'm going, oh my God. Like my thought was, do they want to get rid of a witness? Right. Which was another reason I'm glad I was armed, because what if they were, what I like, just run, hide. Like, so I had myself, I had myself protected if I needed to be, but luckily they were just getting rid of the gun. Right. So one of them had gotten out and got rid of the gun. That's what a guy who was in a car that couldn't back up because they were in his way. Right. I ended up talking to this guy, and he said, he was like, yeah, I saw him get out the car. He's like, I think that they were trying to get rid of the gun. And then so it looked like they went through the gun somewhere. So then they end up going, I think they ended up going back up. And so I end up going down. I call my friends. I'm like, hey, I'm like, I almost died just now. I was like running through bullets. It's crazy. And they were like, oh, that was you? I was like, no, it wasn't me. But I mean, it was me getting shot at. And I thought that was fireworks. And I'm like, no, it definitely wasn't fireworks. I thought that too. So anyway, he's telling me, oh man, dude, like cops are everywhere. So all of us, like within a minute and a half, security was running up, and then cops started getting it. There must have been 50 or 60. I mean, there was SWAT, NOPD, like a lot of them, and they were just swarming. And so they locked down the parking garage, and we couldn't get out. And the cops start pulling people out. Like, the cops thought it was a car that was 3 cars ahead of me, right? So I had to speak up and be like, hey, y'all got the wrong guy. Like, that's not who did this, right? And but still, like, they kept him. Like, I think they did, they detained him and stuff. And then they were pulling people out of another car. I'm like, that's not them either. I'm telling you, it was like a Dodge Durango, two-tone, green and silver, and now they're willing to listen to me, right? And I'm like, yeah, I was right there when it happened. Like, I was, literally like running through the bullets trying to get to my car. And I end up telling them what happened and all this stuff. And I haven't heard anything back from them. I haven't heard them, talk. I haven't heard them, like, they haven't called me or asked me any questions or anything like that. So I don't know.
Did they arrest them?
I heard that they got one of them at least. But that I really couldn't tell you. I know they got the car. The car was up there. They figured out which car it was, and I heard they got one of them. So but they were in Harrah's or Caesars. They were in there. So they got them on camera. They got them coming up in the elevator with the people that they were shooting at. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be easy to get them. If they haven't got them all already.
Mm-hmm. And then there was one casualty, right?
Yeah. Now, when I had talked to the family, and the mom, and she didn't mention anybody else. Now the cop said, and maybe he didn't know anything, but I said, did somebody die? And he said, yeah, it was a murder. And I was like, was it one person? And he was like, so far. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if he knew something. I was like, oh, maybe it was more people that were hurt, right? But I didn't hear about anybody else being hurt. It was just, can we say his name or no? It's in the news and stuff.
I'm sure you can. Yeah, if it's in the news.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we can, keep like Percy is his name, and we can keep him in our prayers, and
His family.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
his family. Yeah, I talked to his mom. She was real thankful, to me, um, and yeah, I really wanted to talk. I really wanted to talk to him, and let them know what I saw and what I experienced, because I felt like it was a shared experience. I felt like there was like a darkness and like a heavy evil, like and you know what I mean? Like, I'm not being hyperbolic. It felt like love was not present. It was fear.
Yeah.
It's not like the fear that I'm afraid. It's like the fear that's present when love is not present, kind of fear.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It was bad. It was a dark, really, really dark feeling. Man. And I in my life, I was kind of like, you know, just casually talking and kind of even laughing here and there about, stuff. But, I'll tell you what, it was, I think since then I realized that I was traumatized. Like, I realized like that, I wouldn't like to admit it, because I'm kind of a live in the present moment kind of person, and kind of, let the past go, and look forward to the future, but don't live in it, worrying and stuff like that. But yeah, since then I've realized I think I'm a little traumatized from it. I keep having flashbacks of the muzzle flash and stuff like that. I keep like that's the thing that sticks out to me the most and keeps kind of happening in my mind, was that realization that's pointed in my direction, and flashes going off.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but every time I talk about it, I think that it gets a little bit better. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost like, and I hate to say it like this, but like anybody willing to listen is willing to like carry a little bit of that burden with me. I think, if that makes sense.
It does. It does.
I think that's what's happening.
Because that's what we're here for, to bear one another's burdens. And you know it's, if you feel like you were traumatized, and I feel like anybody that was in that situation would be traumatized, your life pretty much flashed in front of your face. Your children came to your mind immediately. You're
Yeah.
dodging bullets, trying to get to the only thing that you have, which is your peace that you have in your car. And so it's safe to say that you probably need to get some type of therapy so that you can talk about it, with like a licensed professional, because we can listen and we can bear the burden with you. But that was a lot to experience, and then to know that someone did lose their life, and um, that makes it harder. Like you said, you think that he was already hit during the first round, so there
Yeah.
wasn't anything that you would have been able to do to
Right.
protect him. So, that's where your healing needs to begin, knowing that you did what you could do. But you got to take care of yourself first, because you're not going to be any good for anyone else if you
Right.
just, like I was talking earlier, fight, flight, freeze with someone. So you did not freeze. You kept it moving to get to your car so that you could try and help. But by the time the thoughts like, what do I do? Because I heard you say somebody's name, I guess in New York, who helped in a situation, and then
Oh,
they end up getting in trouble.
yeah, Daniel Penny. It was on what? Not the. You can tell I've never been to a city like that. The subway. It was on like the train that's underground. Yeah, it was on a subway, and the guy, some guy was hurting a lady or something, like, or attacking people. Period. I don't think it was just one person that the guy was attacking, and Daniel Penny stopped him, and I forget the details of what happened. But I, he either hurt the guy or killed the guy. Something happened, but he was completely trying to save someone's life or a few people's life because the people were I mean, they were like completely. It wasn't that he was just being threatening. He had started hurting people, and so the guy, Daniel Penny, he's in jail now, and he's going to trial and stuff, and
for trying to help someone else, trying to save someone else's life.
Right. Yeah. Completely. He was completely. What do you call it? Just
a bystander.
Yeah. Who saw
saw it?
Stop the guy. Yeah. So I mean that's crazy because that's a right. I mean that's a right action to stop someone else from causing harm to someone is a right action, we shouldn't be punished for it. He should be a hero, but he's in jail. But I think they're trying to make an example of him, and trying to say, hey, if you get involved, this is what's going to happen to you, which honestly did make me pause. Like it did.
I heard you say that,
which sucks because it could take, in the seconds that it took, to pause and think that you know what I mean? You never know. That could be the difference between someone's life or death. Just those few seconds that you pause to think, am I going to get in trouble for this? I'm real upset with myself about that I did, worry about that. But at the same time, it was when the guy was really far away, there was a lot to think about. Like, and he had his back turned to me. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, but he was shooting at people. So anyway, I don't know. I think I ended up doing the right thing because, I don't know. I don't know how not doing anything was the right thing, but, oh man. Yeah, I think that might be what I'm struggling with the most. So I gotta really think about all that,
and I did hear you say, like, you were saying, like, in your live, I think if he was already shooting or something, you wouldn't have thought twice about it.
Oh, if it was a
crowd of people,
if he was shooting in a crowd of people, I would not have thought twice. It would have been. It's a different circumstance, right? This guy is. I don't even know if they had taken off. I don't know if they're being shot at. Like, did they take off and he was shooting, up the wall, or whatever. Like, I don't know what was happening at the moment, but I guess you just have to kind of to weigh it, and try to figure out whether it is the right thing to do or not. And then I think it would have been, but I don't think it would have made a difference. I was far away, and he was done. By the time I had that thought, before I even thought that thought, he had like 3 rounds off, right? I'm sitting back here and then I'm like, then I think, should I do something? He shot 3 more times and then ran. So it was quick. It was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't let that bother me too much, but yeah, I'm proud of myself in ways. Like, I didn't freeze. I didn't, I was willing to do something and I didn't freeze. And I was pretty proud of myself at the same time because I handled this high adrenaline situation, fairly well, I think. And so, yeah. And then.
And it's just so much going on in the world, in these cities, and it's sad because it's just another, like, senseless act of violence. It doesn't even make any sense. And so.
That hurts. That hurts my heart. That hurts my heart the most. Yeah, I'm telling you, it was dark. It was dark. It was a heavy feeling that even though that heaviness, that heavy of a heaviness was only there for an hour or so or whatever, and it slowly dissipated. Even though just the fact that I felt that and carried that heavy of a feeling for just that long, like, it's still kind of, I don't know. It's still kind of there's something that I need to do to release it, because it's still there. I think it's kind of still there.
So that's what I was saying about, getting the therapy that you need, because that was a whole lot going on and bullets being shot at you. And even though you were able to get to your car, there's still that big if. What if it would have went this way? But you are so blessed to still be alive, to be here for your children and for your family. So do what you have to do in order to take care of yourself. And I think that that would definitely be a good starting place. And don't be so masculine to say, I don't like to admit that I'm probably traumatized. Just admit.
Yeah, it's not the met for me. Like I'm pretty I'm emotional and real. I'm a kind of a I don't know. I'm not a feminine dude. Like I'm pretty balanced. In other words, like I'm masculine in some ways, and I'm also emotional. And for me, it's more of, oh, come on, bro, just live in the moment, dude. Like it's the now, okay? That doesn't even exist anymore, and it's like, it doesn't. It's not real, but the feelings. I hope my wife's not listening to me right now, because I'm always like, come on, like it's not even real. Like if this anxiety and all this that you're having right now is not, it's not from something that exists anymore. Like let it go. So I mean, I have good intentions for saying that and everything, but I'm starting to figure out what she's saying, that but I still feel this, and this feeling is real. And I'm like, there's kind of a balance that needs to occur between our two, like, philosophies, or those two thoughts, because that's what I'm embarrassed about, to admit to myself, that look, I didn't die, yes, that happened, but it doesn't exist anymore. It's not a thing. And and I need to focus on living in this present moment.
So you're talking about the fear that you felt then, you're bringing it into your present now. And so you're trying to get back to where you live in the moment, not the past, not the future, but the now.
Yeah. So there's a difference between, have you ever heard of Eckhart Tolle?
I don't think so.
He talks about like, about the power of now, right? It's like now is where everything exists.
I think I have heard that book now that you say that.
Yeah, and then there's one called The New Earth. I mean, it changed my life. Like, I mean, there's an allegory that goes like this, and this will basically kind of sum it up. There's an allegory that is like, of Jesus is dying on the cross, and there's two thieves, right? And it's just ironic that the hill was called Golgotha, which means the skull, right? So Jesus is dying on the cross. There's two thieves, one on this side and one on the other. And the hill that they're dying on is called Golgotha, which means the skull. Okay. And the allegory of it is that one thief is talking about, oh, I did all this stuff, forgive me. And he's stuck in the past, right? And the other thief is worried about the future. And he's like, well, I'll be with you in heaven. Like he's concerned about the future. One thief concerned about the past, one thief concerned about the future. And then you've got that center point, which is the now, Jesus representing this present moment, and where life is, and love and joy, this very present moment. And that's where the battle happens. Like most people live in the past or live in the future almost nonstop. Right? They're not really like paying attention and concerned, like, because most of the time, 90-something% of the time, there's no actual problem in this moment. You're sitting in a room, but your mind is somewhere in the past. You're stuck in that, right? Or your mind is in the future, and you're concerned, always thinking about, oh man, I wish, what if this happens, and what if that happens, and that kind of stuff. And if you can, I mean, a good technique is just to, breathe, of course, right? Like we were doing earlier.
Like we were doing before we started.
Right. That's a good technique. And also just like notice, like you could just focus on the feeling in your hands or something. Like just go inside yourself. and focus on your breath, or focus on the feeling in your hands, or or your feet, or whatever, like whatever you can focus on. That is,
So that's like called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique.
yeah, yeah,
And so you focus on the senses, like your five senses. You look, you find five things in the room, and then it takes your mind and your attention off of what's happening internally, and
right,
then you can focus on the other things, and the light, the fan, the this, the that. And so you're thinking about it, and then you stop thinking about what you actually have going on in the mind that's causing the turmoil.
right.
And so, just like we were talking about going outside and letting your feet touch the grass and grounding, those grounding techniques, breathing, and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's good.
and
And you need to practice that, especially right now, so that you
right.
can calm yourself and be in the present moment.
Right. And I don't think some people might hear what we just said and say, well, that's spiritual bypassing. And it's not. It's getting yourself in a place. Because if you're worrying, you're not doing anything to take care of the problem, right? If you have anxiety about, something that happened, you're not doing anything to, you know what I mean, to fix the situation, right? You get yourself in the present moment, in the here and now, without the worry and without the anxiety, and then you can deal with it, right, and face it without the worry and anxiety. But you got to get out of the worry and anxiety first, and that's a good way to do it. So you're not spiritually bypassing and trying to escape, your problems or anything like that by doing that. You're just getting yourself in a place where you can start to, where you're calm, and you're in the present moment, and you can actually work on fixing the problems, or whatever, do something.
And so, let me see. I was going to ask you, because I know we had talked about talking about a little bit about the history of New Orleans. I don't know if you had anything that you wanted to say about that, but I didn't know if anyone thought that this situation was the actual terrorist attack that happened, but this actually happened same time, like an hour or so before, a few blocks down, you said, right? From
Right.
where the other New Orleans New Year's Day situation happened. So it's just all kind of stuff going on, and we definitely have to stay prayed up and pray some more.
Yeah. I mean, I think the world is we've been duped, and we've been demoralized through the music industry, through Hollywood, through.
Oh, let me see if we got comments.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's what we're seeing here is some very powerful people who want control. They want complete control, and the way you go about doing that is you demoralize, and you encourage behavior that's selfish and just wrong. You know what I mean? Like anything that is immoral. That's what they push. I mean, you see it. Everybody can see. I mean, at this point, it's like really, really obvious.
It's unfortunate the direction that everything is going right now, and so, like I said, everybody is not as fortunate to get out. It seems like I've posted so many things lately of pray for this family and this shooting, pray for this family, pray. It's just so much going on. And so we definitely have to be empathetic toward people and what their struggles are and the things that they're going through, because we just don't ever know. We don't ever know. So
yeah,
everybody is not insensitive. Like there's still some impasse around here that, we're concerned. I know I am. You tell me something, I could just feel it all on the inside. I'm like, ooh, Lord. It just feels like I'm not going to make it as I'm listening to somebody. Oh.
Yeah.
But I know you wanted to play us a song before we close out.
Yeah.
I'm going to take myself off the screen while you play, sir.
All right.
Tell us what you're playing, name of the song, and how you decided that's what you were going to play.
All right. So this song is called Sinners and Saints, and It used to be called Ode to New Orleans, and it was actually instead of ODE, it was OWED, which like I think what I was trying to say is there was so much going on back then with Katrina and the BP oil spill and all these different things that I was like, man, I need to write a song about New Orleans, but like I don't want to like be like, oh, poor us, cry for us, feel bad for us. I wanted to kind of, I don't know, I wanted to bring it all up without, you know, um, I guess without, trying to make people feel sorry for us. Right. And so respect, like it was almost like, come on, like respect us. You know what I mean? Like, don't feel sorry for us. Respect our resilience, and so that's kind of the idea of the song. I, you know, I just wanted to talk about a few things that happened to us, and I ended up calling it Sinners and Saints. But yeah, so if you look it up on Spotify or Apple Music or something like that, you can find it as Ode to New Orleans, Sinners and Saints. So both of the names are on there. But yeah, one second. All right, so this is Sinners and Saints. Hurricane wind blow, bust down the front door, broke all the windows, where'd all the trees go? Lake Pontchartrain rising like the house of the sun, and I bet you never thought Canal Street would be one. Don't nobody pity New Orleans, 'cause New Orleans will get by fine without it. Save your pity for a city who needs it. Hurricanes only come for a season. We've been with the wind and rise with the water. If you ain't been, then man, you really oughta to see the sinners and the saints come together, 'cause we know that we all bleed black and gold. Oh. I remember when seafood was still on the menu. Used to have an appetite, now we just pretend to. No more crab or crawfish balls, 'cause nobody wants to eat them, 'cause they taste like oil. Oil man, if you can, try to help me understand why you couldn't fix the leak, why you didn't have a plan. It's easy to be greedy, making money so fast, and it's hard to find solutions with your head up your cash. Shouldn't take you so long to clean up the mess. You say you did your best. Come on, BP, that's BS. Don't nobody pity New Orleans. New Orleans will get by fine without it. Save your pity for a city who needs it. Hurricanes only come for a season. We've been with the wind and rise with the water. If you ain't been, then man, you really oughta to see the sinners and the saints come together, 'cause we know how to let the good times roll. Who that say they gon' keep us down? Who that, true that, we that town? Mardi Gras, bring your mom, papa, and your sister. Grab me and your pappy, yell and throw me something, mister. Don't nobody pity New Orleans, 'cause New Orleans will get by fine without it. Save your pity for a city who needs it. Hurricanes only come for a season, 'cause we've been with the wind, rise with the water. If you ain't been, then man, you really oughta to see the sinners and the saints come together, 'cause we know. 'Cause we know that we all bleed black and gold. Yeah, I can't hear you.
We bleed. Yeah, I was still on mute. Sorry about that. Black and gold, huh?
Lord, yeah. Yeah, that was a long
Things
time.
only come for a season, but that season lasts too long.
You ain't lying. It seems like it's starting to last longer now, too.
It does. It really does. So, yeah, I saw you improvising a couple of them words. So, thank you for keeping it.
Oh, no, that's how it goes. Because, like, BP, BS, you hear what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, the joke. Like, you know.
No, I thought when you said cash.
Oh, no. That was the joke, too.
That was the joke, too? Okay.
Yeah. It's easy to be greedy making money so fast, and it's hard to find solutions with your head up your cash. Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Right. Yeah, that's the joke. That's the I don't know what you call it, but that's meant to be like that. Let's see. For sharing your point of view on the situation. Oh yeah, thank you, Miss Jennifer. I appreciate it. But yeah, no, that's the joke. But yeah, I mean, I can we can end it, or I can play another one, whatever you want to do.
What you feel like doing? We have 51 minutes. What's the one that you played when you first started?
That's Lonely on the Bright Side. There's Lonely on the Bright Side, and then there's Frenemies. Frenemies is kind of an anthem for I don't know. I feel like it's kind of an anthem for like, let's all come together. And, you know, like that last line of it is, we all bleed the same, but do we all need proof? And it's kind of like an anthem for us to get it together and stop dividing ourselves. So I like that one. I like Lonely on the Bright.
You can do that one, especially the topic that we've been talking about, like you dodging bullets and, you know, a couple of blocks down from where the terrorist attack is happening. And I think that one would be appropriate to close it out. So right. I'm going to take myself back off the screen and I'll see you in a minute.
All right. This song is called Frenemies. To me, an enemy is just a friend to be made. It makes sense since most friends are one and the same. Before you disagree, listen intently to me, and then you'll see my intentions are clearly not to undermine the value of a friend, but to point out the frenemies who tend to pretend. I say that to say this, or raise your glass for a toast to keeping friends at arm's distance and your enemies close. So come on, somebody call the doctor, please. I'm coming down with humanity. It's a contagious disease, and it could lead to insanity. But we could beat it if we treated everybody else the way we want to be treated, the way we treat ourselves. Love is all we need to be, all we could be if we were loving. Instead of shoving, we wouldn't need an army. I can't decide if we're deaf, dumb, blind, which of them we are. But if we're deaf, we're definitely all in trouble. How can we make peace if we can't make peace signs? The two fingers we need already occupied. The middle finger in the air, making two words. Flipping birds don't fly, no matter what you heard. A little pointer if you're trying to make friends. A pointer finger on the trigger makes it hard to shake hands. Come on, somebody call the doctor, please. I'm coming down with humanity. It's a contagious disease, and it could lead to insanity. But we could beat it if we treated everybody else the way we want to be treated, the way we treat ourselves. Love is all we need to be, all we could be if we were loving. Instead of shoving, we wouldn't need an army. Why can't we be friends? It can't be done if everybody's out for number one. And one's the loneliest number that you'll ever do. We are the world. We are the villains. We hate the ones that want a better way. So we kill them. John Lennon was shot the same year I was born. Martin Dr. Martin Luther King, 12 years before, 5 years before that, JFK and JC and 33 AD. Why we killing everybody that's trying to help? Why can't we see that we just killing ourselves? It's pathetically true, but listen close when I say we're not genetically doomed, we're just government raised. Ow! Somebody just shot me. Guns down in the name of peace. No better reason to bleed. It doesn't matter what you do to me. It used to be that we could think of better things to do than killing people for a different point of view. You know what they say has now become what they do. We all bleed the same, but do we all need proof?
Yeah. Woo, now that was the truth.
I like it. Yeah, that's my favorite song I ever wrote, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the truth.
Yeah.
Killing people in the name of peace. I mean, it's just like,
yeah.
Ooh, goodness.
Yeah, it's like when I start talking about, like, you know, we're not genetically doomed, we just government raised, and then I'm like, ow, somebody just shot me. Whoa, you know what I mean? Like, don't start speaking the truth. Somebody's gonna take you out. You know, that's what happens when you speak the truth. You know, people try to take you out, especially people who are living in lies. You know. Oh, thank you, Miss Jennifer.
Jennifer be hanging in there with us. Thank you, Jennifer. So yes, do you want to hang back with me whenever I close this one out? Because I need to ask you something. But
Okay.
Did you have any closing thoughts for us? I just want to tell you before you give us your closing thoughts. Thank you for coming on Conversation with Celena, sharing your experience and your testimony. Thankful that you're still here to tell the testimony. And also, y'all be sure to share the video so that it can get out. And then we can find Mr. Shane Paul Smith on Spotify, Apple Music. He's also on Facebook under his name. And I think that's all that I have to say. Tomorrow, I'll be back live at 6 o'clock with MLK Picayune. We'll be remembering Martin Luther King Jr. and then the upcoming events that they're going to have in Picayune on in his memory. So, all right, sir, you got any final thoughts for us?
Yeah, isn't that kind of a coincidence? I just said Dr. Martin Luther King. Yeah, just talked about. Yeah, that's crazy. And then so tomorrow, when is the Martin Luther King Day?
It is on the 20th. That's the day that it's recognized this year. That's a Monday.
Wow. Anyway, I see coincidences everywhere, but yeah, that's wild. So yeah, my let's see, closing thoughts. Man.
Well, I said yeah, but I believe everything happens for a reason.
Oh yeah.
So the 20th is actually, yes, Martin Luther King Day being recognized. And so tomorrow at 6 o'clock on Conversation with Celena, MLK Picayune will be here live. So y'all come back. That's my triple one for this weekend. And then don't forget to go listen Conversation with Celena Sundays with Sunshine on NOLA FM 100. That's all the plug I got tonight. That's it.
I wish I could flow as well. Like every time like people end a YouTube, like they have this thing that they say every time, right? You can also check me out on blah blah blah. And I was like, man, I should have practiced that. No, I just if you guys want to hear my music, I recorded an EP with the guys from Better than Ezra in New Orleans a few years back. And so I have that EP on Spotify and Apple Music. I got Sinners and Saints, Ode to New Orleans on there. If you guys want to hear that, you can go check it out on Spotify. I also on my YouTube, Shane Paul Smith, I have music videos and songs on there. Yeah, you can be friends with me on Facebook under Shane Paul Smith. My closing.
How long have you been doing the music, Shane?
Yeah, I started when I was 8, singing, and then I started writing. I used to write to bass tapes. Do you remember DJ Magic Mike? He was like, it was bass tapes. like back when cassettes, DJ Magic Mike, make the car go boom, boom. Yeah. I used to write songs, to bass tracks and stuff before I could play guitar. So yeah, I've always loved music, and I've been doing it for a long time. And I kind of wish I would have been a better, or like I wish I would have kind of been like, pretty good at music, but also pretty good at business, or you know what I mean? Like then I could have maybe done something.
Put them together and been the best business man. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's really hard to be both. But yeah, so I don't have the business acumen. Maybe someone who watches this will like my stuff and we're like, hey, I'm good at business. I'll help you out.
You never know.
Yeah, I've been doing it since I was 8. I've been singing since I was 8, and then yeah, like I would consider myself a songwriter. I don't, when people call me a musician, I'm like, like I don't know. Is a canvas art? Like the painting is art, but a canvas, because I feel like my guitar is just kind of my canvas that I'm able to paint on.
So why don't you make a song for Sunshine? I need a song. I need me a song.
Or for like your show?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'd have to, anybody with a studio that we could go into? And
I'm all the way in Iowa. I don't know.
So you live in New Orleans, right?
Huh?
Did you used to live in New Orleans?
Mississippi.
Oh, Mississippi. Okay. Yeah, that's why you got this. Okay. I got you. That's where your number came from. I was wondering.
Yeah, Mississippi, and now I'm in Iowa. So,
so you are. Yeah. Let's see what I can do with that. Yeah, I got a friend with a studio. Maybe he'll let me use it. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay. All right. Give us your closing words, and also what I want to start doing, because at the end, I do want to ask people if they could tell their younger self something. That's one of the questions that I forgot to ask Miss Catherine this morning, but I do want to start asking that, because that's really important. Because like for my younger self, there's a lot that I wish that I could have told or would have known back then, but we all have that 2020 hindsight vision, but if you learn something and you can share it with the generation that's coming behind us, that's always helpful. And even for us today, like what did you learn through your experiences that you would tell your younger self? So you could give us your closeout, and also if you would just say, if I could tell my younger self this, that's what I would say.
Oh my gosh. So, look, remind me, ask that question one more time after if I don't remember after.
You're so funny.
Dude, I'm telling, like my brain is all over the place. I'm thinking about 20 different things at a time. All right. So thank you everybody for listening. My closing words would be, thank you everybody for listening. And I would like to say that, one of the most important things I think that I could, end with is that I just want everybody to think about and realize that there are so many different ways that we're being divided, nowadays. And I think that we should all come together and stop falling for the propaganda and different ways that people who want more control, okay, in my opinion, people who want more control are very powerful people who are, have everything to gain from us being divided. That way we're focused on, each other as opposed to focused on the people who are, controlling us, right? So one of the, I can say is like, pay attention. Yes, unity. Yes. Pay attention to, all the different ways that the media is, they're dividing us by race. They're dividing us by gender. They're dividing us by, you name it, any way they can, that they have an incentive to do that. So, I just want to say, like, if you're feeling, the same way that we're divided, I want you to kind of realize that, those thoughts might not have even came from you. You know what I mean? We're watching, an idiot box, and it's telling us all these different things. And, I would just want to say that, notice when next time you're watching the news, notice how they're trying to divide us and realize that that's what's going on. Anyway, I don't know if I said that right, but that's what
I think that you did. I think you did.
All right.
I don't watch the news, so I'm good in that area. You're like,
right. Well, if you don't watch the news, I mean, if you don't watch the news, then you're probably not feeling like that for the most part. Probably, you know what I mean? Because that's where it's all at. Everybody's divided. Everybody hates each other, and all this kind of stuff. But that's not what I experience on a day-to-day basis with people. So,
me either.
Yeah.
And so, what would you share with your younger self?
With my younger self, actually, how about my younger daughter?
Aww.
This is Odie.
Hey, pretty girl.
And say hey. No. Anyway, with my younger self, good God. If I had something to share with my younger self, it'd be a few things, but I guess don't go into the military would be one of them. That's a bad idea, and it's not going to end well. And then I would also share the power of now and how important it is to live in the present moment. I would share, I would share what a right is. I would try to explain that a right is an action that doesn't initiate harm on another sentient being. I would try to say that because that's one of my most important things I've learned in my life. If we want to live right, we have to know what right is. And that's a pretty good definition, I believe. So I would share that definition. And I would just say, live right, do the right thing. And that's it, basically. At least that's all I can think of right now.
No, that was good. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was good. And she is adorable.
Thank you.
I see those dimples. I can't see if she got a dimple on the side that's leaning up against Daddy, but I see that.
Yeah, she's got them. You got 2 dimples? Yep, both sides.
Oh, wow. I used to want dimples. But
you would sit
the
there.
only dimple I got is just because.
Sit there and do that all day? You just come on,
dimple.
That's funny.
Yeah, I got some fluff going on. But thank you so much for coming and sharing your testimony and sharing your music and sharing your baby girl with us. Thank you again. Thank y'all for joining me once again. Come back tomorrow, 6:00. And then Sundays with Sunshine, it'll roll at 7:00 on NOLA FM 100. In the meantime, share a smile and spread some sunshine. Mwah. Keep it smiling, sunshine.